even when I'm down. Got my head in the clouds and my feet on the ground. I got big dreams. Yeah, we've got big dreams here at the Genius Lab. Toby Christensen, your self-empowerment trainer here. And this is number 22 of the podcast based on my new book, Release Your Shit and Reclaim Your Power. Haha, I love it. Hey, today we're going to talk about don't be afraid, it's the real you. Okay, we've talked a lot about power, identifying power, what is for your personal power, internal power, external power. We've really talked a lot about it, but this particular podcast is really interesting because this is where you get to like fucking own your power. Okay, and so most of the time, you know, people are very happy to talk about owning their power. I mean, hell, it's the reason you bought the book or are here at the retreat. And but it's interesting because when it really comes time to pull the trigger and own your power, that's when a lot of people fade. There's a lot of pushback and there's a lot of resistance. It's pretty crazy. Because no one can give you power, okay? It's not a gift. You might get a promotion at work where you have a bigger position and you have more authority given you by your particular working institution or your employer, but that doesn't mean you have power. It just means that you have a certain amount of influence that is based on position, and that's not earned and respected power. That's just like what you get with the promotion. And this is why there's so many executives that are internally powerless. Externally, they have a lot of influence, but they know that they don't have enough power because they look at themselves every morning and wish they did. So even people that are worshipped as gurus or saints or whatever, it's positional, it's transactional. Okay, it's not relational. And so power is a relationship that you have with yourself and how you influence the world around you. So it's a big deal. When you own your power, it gives you credibility. You have integrity. You know your mission. When you own your power, you create and maintain strong relationships. Okay. Just recently, I had a situation where my stepson Spencer was in a motorcycle accident, and a friend of mine helped to fund one of the most prominent and cutting edge spinal cord recovery programs. And I called him and checked to see if he knew somebody. And he said, boy, I don't personally, but let me check with the guys at the clinic. Okay. I never heard a fucking word back from him. Okay. Spencer's in the hospital with a broken back, a shattered vertebrae, and he offered to help me and then didn't have time. And this is a guy that constantly talks about integrity. You know, whatever you talk about is your thing, right? So the bottom line is this: just because you have a position doesn't mean that you have integrity. And if you don't have integrity, you don't have fucking power. Okay? That's the way it is. So the thing about owning your power that's so cool is that when you get it and when you accept it, when you go, yes, I am ready to step in, it's all about you. This is not something that someone else gives you. It's something that's reflected back to you by the people around you. But this is you, and this is time for you to step into your power. So I want to talk to you about 10 steps that you can follow to claim and own your personal power. Okay? So, number 1, acknowledge and declare your intentions. Okay. I don't mean you have to run around telling everybody, you know, all the wonderful things that you're going to do in the world. And, you know, you're the greatest thing in the world and everybody loves you because they gave you a standing ovation at your speech. Nobody fucking cares, right? Those moments come and go. But it is appropriate when you own your greatness to share your ideas and ambitions. Okay. Because what that does is that inspires others to own theirs and to express theirs. And what you do is you become a leader. So sharing your goals and desired outcomes for your own glorification or your own grandiosity is just fucking bullshit. Sharing your ideas, sharing your ambitions, sharing your intentions to inspire others is owning your power. Okay? Number 2, be aware of your self-talk. Okay? This is freaking huge because self-talk is like the key to owning your power. Whatever it is whatever you focus on, you feed. Okay? And so when you're into a whole thing of negative self-talk, basically what happens is you lose your confidence. When you lose your confidence, you lose your power. When you lose your power, you spin into this dark hole of fucked upness, and you're gone. In the same way you have to claim your power, you have to keep your power. It's not just a one-time deal. It's something that requires consistent. It requires work. It's like exercise. You can't just go to the gym one time or say I'm going to get big muscles and it just happens. You got to keep working out. And trust me, the older you get, the harder you have to work out. But anyway, so that's number 2. You watch your self-talk, man. Remember what you focus on, you feed. So focus on the power, focus on the integrity, focus on follow through, focus on inspiring others, focus on being a leader. Okay. Through your actions, not through a bunch of jabber jab. Okay. There's so many talkers out there. It just makes me sick. Anyway, I won't get into that here. We'll do that another time. Number 3, advocate for yourself and others. So this is a thing, when you're in your power, you stand up for yourself. You don't take shit from people, right? But at the same time, while you're advocating for yourself, you're advocating for others, those around you, those with a common vision, those with a common goal, those with a common mission. Okay? You're helping them out too. Again, the thing about power is you're always doing something greater than just for yourself. Okay? Number 4, ask for help. This one, in some of the leadership trainings I do, people look at me and they go, "Are you out of your fucking mind? You don't ask for help. That's a sign of weakness." Bullshit. When you ask for help, it means that you know where your limitations are, you know what your gifts are, and you know that you are not self-sustaining. You are not the master of time, space, and dimension. Anybody who thinks that they can handle it all. I remember hearing a distinctly annoying politician saying, "I and I alone can fix it." Okay? You know you're in fucking heap of trouble if your CEO is going, "I and I alone can fix it." Because guess what? That means no one else is needed, and it means the guy's a fucking liar. So anyway, I won't even get started on that. Asking for help is a way to inspire others to shine, and you're giving them an opportunity to step onto the stage with you and create something bigger than any of you individually. Okay? Number 5, share your opinions and ideas. I cannot tell you how many times I have been in a situation where I've been in a meeting and, excuse me just a minute here. Much better. I've been in a meeting and people have just like not said anything. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, you guys, we talked about this 100 times and the CEO or the CFO is here and nobody's saying anything. And then afterwards, everyone's going, why didn't you mention something, blah, blah, blah. Okay, get over yourself, okay? Have courage. Own your power and speak up. Share your opinions. Their opinions. People in their power don't take shit personally. Okay? You're trying to make something bigger and better. You're trying to help people find something greater than themselves. Okay? So you got to share it. If they don't like it, so what? And so you really, the thought that everybody's going to like everything you say is ridiculous. So get over it. The deal is, share so that other people have permission to share. And as everybody gets to talking, all of a sudden the group unites and you become a mega power force because you, by sharing your ideas, are being vulnerable and are inspiring and stirring the pot to help people think in a different way. Okay? So that's a big deal. Next, acknowledge your fears. one of the most powerful experiences that I had with acknowledging my fears was back in 2002 when I was opening my first restaurant. Oh my God, I didn't know what I was doing. I was scared shitless. I had everything on the line, and I told my staff, I said, I hope this works. Okay, but I get it if things aren't rolling like we want them to. I just want you to know that I'm scared shitless, but I'm going to give it my all. And it galvanized everybody together as a team. And man, we kicked ass. I ended up selling that restaurant about 4 years later, and it was great. And it still exists today, which is a testament, particularly in the restaurant business. So acknowledge your fears. That's not a sign of weakness. It gives people an opportunity to step in and support you, which gives them the ability to shine. Okay. And number 7, this one will get you, but it's true. Schedule daily quiet time. The thing about our work world today is that everybody seems to think that if you schedule your schedule in 5-minute increments and you're completely packed and you eat on the run and you pee while you're on the phone or whatever, in other words, you don't have one nick of time anywhere. Okay. Then that makes you powerful and successful. And actually that makes you stressed out and gives you a fucking heart attack. You have to have scheduled quiet time. It is not an option. Okay. And when you learn to do it, and I'd be happy to help you with this. You can always get a hold of me at toby@tobychristensen.com. When you start scheduling that time in, your life will change radically. So, number 8 of the 10 tips is create a support network. Okay. So other colleagues and people of like-mindedness that you can call, that you can rely on, that you can have lunch with, because you can't do everything on your own. You can't hold the world up for very long before it will crush you. And one way to help that is to have a network, create a mastermind or a group of people that you can talk to, that you can be honest with, that understand where you're coming from. It's really, really important. In the same way that people come to you for advice, it's important for you to have people that you can trust with advice. And huge deal. And last but not least, number 10 is make self-care a priority. Okay. One of the most successful men I've ever met was absolutely unavailable between 3 and 6 o'clock every Thursday because he was getting a massage, a facial, and a manicure. And his building could be on fire, and he did not want to hear about it until 6 o'clock when he got done. Because this aspect of self-care was the time when he unplugged completely and could feel the power of nurturing that allowed him to get into the ring and fight like a fucking warrior. Okay? This guy made more money and had more influence on huge business than anyone I've ever known. And he insisted that Thursday afternoon from 3 to 6 was his time, and that contributed more to his success than anything because it was the time that he could unplug and he could receive. He was always giving. He was always making deals. He was always, rocking and rolling, so to speak. And that was the time that he could unplug, and that's when he built himself up. That's when he recharged. So as you apply these 10 steps, listen to this podcast again and write them down. Okay. Take some notes. These are really practical steps that you can work into your daily life. And those of you who are going to come on the retreat, we can use these in our coaching time because we have our coaching sessions after the retreat. So we can help you do this. And that will get you into what I call the new groove, which is thinking about things differently, approaching things differently that support your power. And that's what it's all about. Release your shit, own your power, and keep looking up.